Dearest gentle listeners, you are listening to the Ladies Bridgerton, the talk of the town. We are your effervescent hosts, your neighbourhood-friendly Kiwi touch from Middle-earth, New Zealand.
And Patty, Regency romance enthusiast, currently writing her Phoenix Rising era.
Settle down onto your favourite settee as we delve into the lives of the elite and illustrious ladies, lords, and royalty of the town. This Bridgerton podcast is two friends talking romance, symbolism, Easter eggs, and I don't even know what kind of deep I want to do today. Audience, do you have any suggestions?
Let's
Audience
see, how
being
deep
Patty.
are we going today?
Deep diving it is. Into the connections of our favourite character, we cover both book, TV series, and notable social media. Actually, it should have been like a deep, because we've got a bit of a mix, actually. It's a deep, because we've got lots of surface feature, and then we've also got the deep dive into the dance. So it's kind of a bit of a mix, actually.
Yeah, well, you need to do a long deep, and then I do a bunch of interrupting deeps because of all the times the dance gets interrupted with side story.
Yes, we cover both book, TV series, and notable social media, and therefore will contain spoilers.
Dearest listeners, I am so excited to finally talk about the dance, and today for real we are. We should have known with all of the side plots, we wouldn't get a seamless pollen love fest. In this episode, the dance is even broken by Marklet, Canthony, and John Cheska. But the love we see fills the space and boots everyone out for just a delicious moment, and we're in our own little pollen bubble. This episode is a fangirl shout out to Tom Verica and his love for pollen fans.
Absolutely. But I also feel like I do wish the focus was more on pollen. Like there are so many side stories in this wedding that, I mean, they definitely are still the main focus. But like, I feel like at John and Francesca's wedding that we have coming up in the next few episodes, like the sole focus was them, with the exception of the one little side plot of Penelope asking Colin to speak after the wedding.
After the whole thing. But every side story just about in the season was in the room, and that's why. John and Francesca, quiet as they are, figured it out. They're observant, and they said, we need to invite all the side stories to our wedding and be in the room and let them be together so we're all in the same frame, and then they can't take our time away. Because it was such a small wedding and such a big frame, like they framed it out so you could see everybody most of the time, that we can't have a side plot, or we see them glancing at each other and that's your side plot.
Yes, because like, yeah. But before we start getting into that, I'm sorry, I'm skipping steps here because I'm excited to talk about it. Let's discuss what pod snacks you have today.
Okay, for pod snacks, it's very weird. I have blackberries again because they were on sale again. And I also have, because I wanted something sweet, like sugar sweet, I also am eating cookie dough. I'm eating peanut butter chocolate chip cookie dough. And I
love cookie dough.
It's
not something you can buy here.
Fluid.
You can't buy cookie dough here as like just dough. It has to be cookies.
Yeah, mine's the break and bake kind.
Cookie dough is superior to cookies. Fight me.
Yes, I don't bake a single cookie, people. I eat it as dough.
What's the tea, Vale? Any tea this way?
There's quite a bit of tea.
Start out with saying happy Pride Month to everyone, because technically we recorded last week, and I think it might have been like the first day of Pride.
We recorded May 31st.
There we go. That's why we didn't.
Yep. So this is our first recording in June. Happy Pride!
Yay! I was like, am I supposed to?
You're waiting for me to do something else, yeah. I'm just gonna say I've never been to Pride. Too many people for me, but I have a lot of friends that go, and I see all of their stuff on social media. And like this year's Pride in Cleveland was amazing. And Julia Quinn posted a thing which I shared in our group, and it was a common theme actually at Cleveland Pride this year was more pride, less prejudice. And I love that so much.
On a side tangent, I just saw that another Luke Thompson this time has tried to join our Facebook page. But isn't it funny? We get maybe one Luke Thompson a week. At the maximum, I would say.
Daily.
Like literally since season 3, we have never stopped declining Luke Newtons. And I once counted on our blocked list, and I think we were up to like 360 like a year ago. It an
I
insane
just
amount of
declined a
but
Luke Newton yesterday. Yep.
yeah, isn't it funny that even though it's now Luke Thompson's time to shine, people were still very infatuated with Pollen.
Yes. Very much so. So, getting into the Bridgerton news, like for real, first of all, I want to say rest in peace to Anthony Head,
Yes.
who played Lord Sheffield. He's
Though
been
as
in so many other things, but he was an
most of us
amazing
knew him
actor.
from Buffy.
Yes. He was from Buffy. He's actually, I mean, look him up on IMDb, people. He's been on so much stuff. And then I don't know if you saw this. This I'm putting in here. It's not Bridgerton related necessarily, but it is another celebrity death, actor death. But it's from one of your fave movies, Ever After. And Patrick Godfrey, who was Da Vinci in Ever After, also passed away like the day after. Or it's a
Oh,
couple of days after Anthony Head. I find this interesting. Anyone out there who wants to, I don't want to say like they'll hire you for Bridgerton, but if you've ever thought I could write better than they do on Bridgerton, Shore Scripts is every year, I guess, they do a writing workshop and you have to submit samples and stuff and apply. And they only choose like 6 or 8 people. And this year, the end date for the workshop to submit your stuff is June 29th. And they actually got Jess Brownell for one of the workshops in this workshop.
wow.
Yeah, there's a couple other, she's the showrunner, another one is like a producer of another show, does a workshop in this, but I thought that was interesting that
Sarah
during
turns up and she's
filming
like, "All right,
season
Jess
5.
Brunel, let's
Yes,
workshop
yes,
this.
Sarah, I'm thinking
Let me
about you
teach you
too.
how to write Bridgerton.
Right? Here's all my fanfics, just saying. But
Fix
yeah,
your
I found
work,
that
man."
interesting. I'm assuming that because this is probably gonna start when they're, trailing off from filming season 5.
Yes.
And she's only part of it. She's not the main headline person. And then I just want to say congrats to Johnny Bailey. He had a whole spread in the Gay Times for Pride Month, and that looked like a fun photo shoot. And he was named the Martini Man.
Forgive me if
So
I'm
he's the
wrong,
new
but
ambassador of Martini.
Golda is also married to a woman?
Yes.
Yeah. She's absolutely I would absolutely eat up a spread about her. I adore her and her fashion. I think both her and Adjoa have just incredible fashion, and obviously also our lovely Ruth. I think Bridgerton does this phenomenal thing about just picking absolute fashion queens.
Yeah. Yep, they do. And they have good stylists, all of them. I don't know if that's provided by their management company or if Bridgerton provides them during press and stuff like that, but their style is amazing. In fact, leading into my next thing, all 4 of the Bridgerton bros, the 2 Lukes, Johnny and Will, were part of it's called Generation N, and it's from Netflix. They did a little video interview in a photo booth while their photos were being taken, those 4-part photos or whatever. And it plays into like, how did we all meet each other was one of the questions. And they were talking about Luke Newton because Johnny and Luke Thompson had already known each other and they met Luke, when Bridgerton started officially. And they said, like, I just remember what you were wearing when you walked in, and they were talking about his cutoff jeans with the phrase at the bottom of the jean. He goes, yeah, I would be wearing something like that. Like,
Those
that's in the
apple bottom
past.
jeans, boots with a fur. The whole
And
club looking
so they
at
got a laugh
her.
out of that. And I know he's like, I've come up in the world. I've had my Bridgerton glow up. You know what I mean? Like, but that if you haven't seen that, it's all over the fan groups. It's at Netflix. It's such a cute interview. Everybody should go see it. And I've screenshot so many pictures from it because these 4 boys are adorable together. I cannot wait to see them grow up against Sir Philip in Eloise's season.
Yeah. Because you also sent me, or someone sent in the Tangent Squad, possibly it was an advert with Florence
Hmm.
who plays Hyacinth. I don't, it's perfume. I don't remember what perfume it was.
It's Instagram, so I couldn't see. I had Kay look it up and she
But
told me.
she's growing up. Both Will and
Yeah.
Florence are both growing up, and I think that they're both going to go really, really far in life. I think they're both absolute go getters. They seem to work really hard for young people. Not for young people. That sounds degrading. Like, despite the fact that they have always had limitations on how many hours and whatnot they can work because of their age, they seem to
Not
always put
anymore.
in their 100.
Yeah.
No, they're both of age now, which, yeah, they're gonna realize how grueling the Bridgerton schedule, though maybe not so much because they are still lesser characters thus far.
Well, and in that interview, Luke Newton specified that very thing, that even while they were young, they gave 100% when they were there, and they crushed school while they were doing it. They were, doing double duty. And all the naysayers out there that are like, you know, that Will and Flo shouldn't be Hyacinth and Gregory by the time their seasons come out. I think they're going to be, because they talked to Will like, yeah, I can't wait to see your season and see you lead the season. Are you ready for it? And Will's like, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. He goes, all of you guys made it through and you're okay. Like, I think it'll be fun.
I know there's been interviews where Florence has said like she would love to be the lead of her own season. Like she's done it for so long. She's been here, she's grown the character, and she would love to fill that role. But she said, they're not sure yet whether her and Will be filling that role, or whether they will get older actor and actresses for that part. She said it's like it's still all up in the air.
Well, they just have to do like they did with Luke. I mean, yes, Luke Newton was already in his late 20s when he started Bridgerton, and he was in his 30s when he had his lead season. However, he still had a very baby face. They had to do special things with his sideburns and things like that to make him look older.
Yeah.
And they can,
Because
I mean, aside from Will's dimples, I think there's things they can do to make it look like he's grown up.
I must admit, because granted, the average fan base is between our ages. Realistically, I would say the median age would be like 50 to 55 or something. So even if they film it in 6 years' time, I must admit I don't really know how I feel about that.
I mean, there are those of us who are going to be like, "Ew, I watched you grow up," right?
Yeah,
But there's a lot of other actors and actresses that we watched grow up, that we have seen do adult things, adult roles, and they've navigated it well. Some do,
yeah.
some don't. You know what I mean?
I
So
mean, they
I
could
think
potentially flip the script of who goes first as well.
mhm.
Florence, because if they do her season, she'd be 7 to 8 years older, which would put her 25, 26. Which I think people would, once you hit the 25 mark, it becomes a little bit less icky.
Well, and they're very close to the same age, but I think Will looks younger than her. So I
Yes,
think her season needs to come before his, as it does in the books.
yes.
Because I do think
Apologies for the many
you don't need to apologize for
apologies for the
yawning.
I had a very late night. I just couldn't sleep. So I'm tired.
Her little man just started big boy school, and it's new and it's a transition.
Yeah. Yeah. He's really loving it actually. He's done full days this week and he's really happy, but it
Like
is like
last week, he's like, "Mom, can I not go the whole day?"
yes, but then he got up this week and he's like, "No, no, no, I wanna go whole days." Because I was like, "Look, if I take you home before lunchtime, you're not gonna get as much opportunity to make friends." And yeah, but no, he's really enjoying it, but he hates walking into school in the morning because it's -1 today, which is 30, what did I say, 32 by American standards, I
Yeah,
think? 30, 32, something like
you
it's
said it was
it's
30.
30.
I had to drag Tosh out of
It's
bed today to
icy.
record. I told her bring her blankie.
I am wrapped in a heated blanket and I'm still shivering.
Yep.
It is
And here I am,
icy today,
summertime,
and I
like
don't
my
have a heat pump
AC's
in this
not
room.
keeping up. I don't have my blankie on, so I may put it on. I do have my door shut, so we'll see if the AC
I
manages to cool my
honestly,
room.
if I could find that stupid part that would connect into my phone, I would have considered just recording from bed today.
Well, we're just two friends talking. It don't matter where we are. That's all we're saying.
Yes.
So that's what I have for Bridgerton news. If you have any Bridgerton news you'd like to submit for Bridgerton news, as everyone knows, like Kay helps me out with Bridgerton news all the time. I'm not on every social media platform. So if you find some Bridgerton news, you can email it to the ladiesbridgertonpod@gmail.com or send it to me in Facebook Messenger if you're in our Facebook group. That way, you can I'll give you a byline in Bridgerton news if you submit some Bridgerton news to me.
Did you actually? I can't remember if we talked about this last week on the pod that you got to meet Yaron Ha outside
Mhm.
of. We did. Cool.
Yep. Yeah,
Because
we
that was
talked
just the coolest
we
thing
did a
ever.
follow-up on it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's dig in because
Well, and I'm gonna do a quick shout out. I just found out that a high school friend of mine on Facebook listens
yes,
to
it was so
everything we
sweet.
put out. So thank you, Howard, for playing our things. I don't know if you play them where you can hear them. I know you're supporting, you don't even know what Bridgerton is. But I just wanted to give you a shout out because we were friends in high school. We were in drama together. And I'm just gonna say my favorite memory with him is us filling up my sister's car with probably 10 of us. Like, the car seats 5. We got 10 or 12 of us in there, plus sleds in winter gear to go sledding. But the funniest part is, like, he was one of the first people we picked up, and we stopped at some of our other friends' houses, and, like, he ran in and acted like he was kidnapping them. It was funny. He's carrying them
Also,
out on his shoulder.
shout out to Sarah, Ezra's old kindy teacher. I miss you, and I hope you guys are all surviving without me, without my your daily dose of Tash in the mornings. Must be awful.
But yeah, we kind of went through the struggle bus the last couple of weeks about Bridgerton. Oh, that's another piece of Bridgerton news. I'm glad that just reminded me because we didn't talk about it last week. So, season 4 did not make the all-time watch list for Netflix. The
Yes.
90th day came at the end of May, May 28th or something like that. Here's the thing though, guys, like, it still got a lot of views. It has the same amount of views as season 2, and I promise you season 2's falling off if it hasn't already, because these all-time watch lists are growing. The views are growing for them. The reason season 1 is still on there is because it was the pandemic. The reason season 3 is still on there is because we I don't know why this is going off. I turn it off every day. And I don't mean just telling it to shut up. I mean, I turn it off every day. My phone is giving me an alarm at 6 o'clock every day, and it's annoying. We made a campaign as pollen fans to watch and watch and watch and watch and watch as much as possible to make sure it made the all time watch list. And I just don't think Benofi had that kind of fan base. But they still got a lot of episodes. It doesn't mean not reaching the all time watch list does not mean we're not going to get Gregory and Hyacinth seasons. I've even heard talk about we might not get Eloise this season. They might decide to cancel that. They're not canceling it. It's still got 98 million views.
Hmm.
Like 98 million views in 90 days. And people are still watching it.
I think judging from the main Bridgerton page, because I feel like we have set up our page to be a very supportive and inclusive kind of space, and let it be known that anything other than that won't be tolerated. Not to say that you can't have bad feelings about season 4, because like there's
You can
still plenty
express
to
your
complain
feelings, just
about.
be respectful.
I mean, it's an English show, and I mean, we're all just getting in the spirit of England and complaining.
There's complaining and then there's bashing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. So I do definitely I think that it's just a whole different ball game. Season 3 is like first love, friends to lovers. We can all relate to it so much. You know, the outcasts of society. And then season 4 is just this incredible emotional journey, but it is a very emotionally heavy. Like I've got a book at the moment that I'm not finishing because I know I'm just going to sit there and cry. And I'm not in a headspace that I want to do that. So, have I gone and rewatched season 4? No, because I don't want to just sit and sob my little heart out for like the next 3 days straight.
and honestly, after having this season of, and this is something I'm just now expressing that I kind of
The
think
season of
is
love.
that no, it's like the elephant in the room that nobody's expressing out loud. I don't think it has anything to do with LGBTQ storylines. I don't think it has anything to do with upstairs, downstairs. I think we had the season of the outcast, the nerds, like Penn and Colin were nerds and they were nerdy for each other. And then this season, I love Benedict, but Benedict really just gets whatever he wants. Benedict doesn't suffer. And yes, he suffered a little bit, and I'm not saying like I need to see mega yearning or anything like that. I'm just saying it's for me, it's that story of like, the popular guy that just always gets what he wants and he never seems to come across adversity. I mean, even looking at his queer storyline, the first person he comes out to completely and totally accepts it. He's not had any coming out that was negative. He finally met the girl that he wanted to marry.
He faced no adversity because of it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he should necessarily. I'm just saying he's led a very enchanted life, and that's not relatable. All of us
Yes.
have experienced some sort of adversity no matter what we're dealing with. I'm not LGBTQ, but all of my friends, my brother, the people who are, they always had a naysayer or somebody like my brother just expressed to me, "Sorry if you don't want me to tell the story, I'm going to."
Petrol station?
No, he's talking about coming up to visit and, like I was like, "Well, I have a spare bedroom now and you have the spot at our sister's, so you won't have to get a hotel room." He goes, "Well, the only time I have a need for a hotel room is when I meet friends in Cleveland or Akron and we go out to a gay establishment." And I'm like, "Well, have them come to you. There's a place near me, they do music bingo, there's a place that does karaoke, have them come out here and we'll go out here and then you're close to here." And he goes, "The whole point is going somewhere where I feel safe. When
Yeah.
I go to a non-gay establishment, I almost always
You
get
never know.
threatened. My life
Yeah.
gets threatened." And
Yeah. You
that's what
never
I'm
know what you're
saying.
gonna get.
Every group that could relate to Benedict's story is watching somebody just have everything work out.
In a timeline where it was incredibly risky what he was doing. And I think that's why I preferred the way that Chris Van Dusen did the whole Brimsley and Reynolds storyline. And he did it
Yeah,
in
and
such a beautiful
Granville,
way that we're still yearning for some
their
sort of
happy
conclusion
ending.
to this. Not
Yeah.
conclusion or not happy ending, but just more. We want more of it. We crave it because it's
I
heartbreaking.
want something because we now know from season 3
Brimsley,
or
yeah, he
season
sucks.
4 when the queen is like, "Why did you never marry?" Or the end of Queen Charlotte, like, the present day Brimsley is like, "Who would marry me?" And your heart breaks for him. Like, that's
Yes.
adversity.
Yes.
But
And so
but
I
Benedict as a
definitely
character in the show just has had everything handed to him, and he's only lived with minor inconveniences. He's not lived with any real trial and tribulation.
yes, we didn't even see him go through any sort of struggles with his family finding out that he was queer and them either coming to terms with it, accepting it, not accepting it. There was nothing, you know,
Nothing.
nothing. And so that's why I think people obviously feel a certain way. Obviously, we're going to get the storyline next season. And I think they're saving a lot of that storyline for Francesca's season, so Benedict can kind of go to his siblings and be like, "Well, you didn't know this about me, but." But I think we still needed to see some of it play out this season.
Mhm. Or heck, she got on the boat to America, and he had to
Because
go after her, and we get some
even
scenes
it
in America. I mean, something that shows he went through. I mean, the weight wasn't even adverse because we know he still partied and he still did his thing.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about how many side stories we have in this one scene. We have Lady Danbury and Marcus. We've got Lady Danbury and Violet. We've got Marcus and Violet. We've got the Mondricks. We've got
Kate
Cressida.
and
We've
Anthony.
got Benedict and Eloise. We've got Canthony.
Well, we're past Benedict and Eloise because he just did his Irish
No,
goodbye.
I know, but like at the wedding breakfast, we have
Yeah, the
little
whole
side
thing.
stories with the Featherington, with Dinky and Finchy and their spouses, not siblings, spouses. Don't make it weird.
That's funny.
Sometimes they do act more like siblings than spouse, like more
They act
Philippa.
like
Sorry,
children, and that's why.
Prudence and Dinky
Like, when
sometimes
they're
act more like
throwing
siblings.
the when they're throwing the grapes at them at the beginning of season 3, like, they do act more like children than adults, so yeah.
Yeah. Like, Portia is all of their mothers, you know?
That's so funny.
Where we left off was with Benedict going to go get his back blown out, and
And Eloise going to get her drink on because she's not ready to face Penn yet.
yes, which is very interesting that it was acceptable for her to drink like that, because I didn't think that unmarried women were allowed to drink at all, but I might be
In the
wrong.
marriage mart, yeah.
You were, okay.
Yeah, I mean, whatever refreshment is brought to you, that's why they have the rule of you can't drink too much. You can't be seen to drink too much
I think
because
you were allowed
basically
more than 1 or 2
you could have
was
1
the
or 2
rule,
and you had to stop.
which fair, because like, I don't drink, so 1 or 2 and I'm done. Dunskies.
Could you imagine
We
Eloise
kind of
drunk at one of these things?
Eloise drunk would be an absolute riot. We kinda start out and this storyline finishes later on, but we see Cressida planning her escape route. That girl
Can we talk about this
clearly
is like a
has
5-year-old running away?
that girl is putting poofy foofy little cloaks in her carry-on and nothing that she would actually need to survive. Not
All
stealing
these
jewelry.
dresses hanging up, looking around. She throws in a frickin' stole. It's a stole scarf, floofy, like, what is that even doing for you?
I'm like, girl, a shawl is not going to save your life. You need to be taking jewelry that you can sell off to travel, to feed yourself, to house yourself. Like,
She could sell those dresses.
but keep in mind, jewelry would sell for a lot more than dresses because
Yes
dresses
and
are
no.
only in
No,
season for,
she could have an issue just like Sophie did, where her parents are getting
yeah,
her costume jewelry.
I
I
don't
wouldn't
think
put
that
it
would be
past
the
Lord
case.
Cowper.
I think they're
I
an
have a
old enough
theory.
established family. I think that they're an old enough established family that they would have
They'd
heirloom
have some.
pieces.
They'd have
Yeah.
heirloom pieces, yeah. But they're struggling this season financially.
Yes, but I laughed because it reminded me of being a 5-year-old and you get mad at your parents and you pack up your little school bag and you put in like you put in like a juice box and like some
Your
coloring in
favorite
pencils and
stuffy.
things that, yeah, like things that aren't actually going to help you get far at all. So
Your
I
parents would
just
just call your neighbors like, "Patty might show up. She's running away. Just give her a snack. We'll be there in 5 minutes."
yeah, yeah. I kind of, it was one of those moments where you realize just how young and inexperienced she is in life.
Yeah. Very sheltered she is, poor thing.
And then speaking of sheltered, we see the Mondricks at the center of the flurry yet again. And I just don't understand why we have so many of these scenes of the Mondricks being bull rushed with
Being so
attention.
popular. Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, and it would have made more sense to me if because side stories play into the main, and we see what it's like when the queen gives you their favor, because this inundating of invites and people coming up to them at every function is because the queen showed up at their ball, right? The queen showed up at their party, so everybody's like, "Oh, the queen loves you. We need to be friends with you. You are queen adjacent." Not to mention, she stood with the queen in her box at the queen's ball. So they're very popular. But at the end of this season, we see Penelope be graced. The queen allows a woman to have a job. And
Yes.
she's now married to a Bridgerton. We should be seeing, and we see it with Penn, but we don't see it with Colin. And it should have been the both of them, just like it was the Mondriches, because
Yes.
Will was a part of that whole thing.
And not that this is necessarily a storyline, but it kind of feeds in with, you talking about how the Mondricks have been graced by the queens, not affection, acceptance, and
Yeah,
therefore
admiration,
they've
whatever. Yeah.
gained mass popularity. I must say, Portia, who is as big a narcissist as she is, seems elated, but she isn't making the wedding about herself. It's not, look how many people showed up to our house. You know, everyone's having such a grand time at the party I planned. Like, this is the one time that I see that she is trying at least to put all of the attention on Penelope, making sure Penelope is happy. But this is still Portia, and she is like, this is exactly what I had been planning my entire life, for one of my daughters to marry a Bridgerton and for us to get in the good graces of all of these people who have turned up because now our name is attached to the Bridgerton name. This is the biggest ball that they've ever hosted, including the one that they hosted
With the fraud money, yeah.
with the with the fraud money. Like, this is the biggest ball that they have ever hosted because now they've got Bridgerton name attached to theirs.
And money. I'm telling you, she put everything on credit. She's expecting Colin to pay for it. But she's walking around this ball. I see what you're saying. She is really considering Penelope, and we see a moment of this coming up, a motherly moment. But she even says weddings are not for the bride and groom, like they're for everyone else. And that's where I think she means her, because she planned it and she did make a point of saying, I had this to plan. I couldn't meddle, because she wants to keep reminding people that this was her baby. And look how successful
Yeah.
it is. Look at how many people are here. She keeps, every time somebody barely catches her eye, she does that. Oop, I got to go talk to them. Like, she
Yeah.
ghosted
The
Prudence earlier doing
self-importance.
that. She's playing the hostess. Like Violet said, she was playing the hostess at the engagement ball. And I think Violet took that and was like, oh, I've got to show up, Violet Bridgerton, right?
Mhm.
Portia says, I'm going to be the best hostess ever. And
Hold
she
my
kills
gravy
it.
boat.
Yeah, hold my gravy boat. Like, hold my lemonade. Like, she's very good at it, but it's feeding her ego. So she doesn't need
Yes.
to put anyone down to feed her ego.
That's what I was
This
gonna
is
say,
just
like,
feeding her ego.
I feel like she is, like, on cloud 9, and, I don't resent her for saying that the wedding is not for the bride and groom, because to be honest, I don't think I've ever attended a wedding where the bride and groom legitimately got to spend the whole day together. Like, it's very much a social obligation.
Yes, and well, and the reception, truthfully, if it's planned correctly, it depends on who's planning it. If it's planned correctly, there will be things in place for the bride and groom. Like, having 30 extra minutes at the end. Like, I know some people plan 30 extra minutes at the end in the reception hall to be able to dance and just be by themselves and have quiet time.
Mhm.
And
We
I'm
did
just
that.
gonna say, from the few weddings I've been to in the last few years, the wedding may not be about the bride and groom, but I'll tell you what, the wedding is not about you. I shouldn't be seeing a bride sitting next to you at your table until dinner starts, then she can go sit at the bridal table with her husband because you're not feeling enough attention today. That's all I'm gonna say. That did happen at a wedding. The bride sat at someone's table with them. No one else, just them, for the entire beginning up until dinner started. Like,
Yeah.
that's not cool, people.
Let's talk about the letter between Kate and Edwina, her new husband.
Okay. First of all, extraneous. I hate this
I
whole
was
scene.
like, pretty sure that we all know that she wasn't actually married to Anthony. You didn't need to say it like that.
Well, I think she was emphasizing how new he is, right? Like,
Yes.
not her second husband, like her new
Yes.
husband gave her an affinity for the outdoors. But this whole scene bothers me because I mean, Kate's dress at this wedding is fabulous. I love her dress here. But this, I understand why they put it in, because Johnny was missing a lot and they wanted to let the audience know that and know why. But one, she's pregnant with the heir. They would have never gone to India. We've said that before. Never. It would have happened after the baby was born and lived an entire year and was healthy at least. Two, mail and travel just have no logical time frame. And like Edwina's new husband, by the time a letter would come from India to England on a boat, he wouldn't be a new husband anymore. They'd probably be together 6 months to a year at least. And that's only if she wrote like the day she got married, because it took months to get from England to India back then. Months on the water.
I do love how she talks about how, he's changed Edwina to being more outdoorsy, and that she did kind of get everything that she had hoped for in a husband.
Yes.
Like how the original person that she, when she was listing off. And let's be real here. The things that we think are important to us when searching for a partner and the things that actually matter usually do not coincide so much. I mean, your base ones like loyalty and kindness, I think those, but like when you're like, oh, I need someone who's outdoorsy or I need someone who's this or when you start narrowing it down, like filtering people out based on a very arbitrary things like that, like, oh, well, he's outdoorsy, so I couldn't possibly be with him. And then you get together and realize, hey, I actually enjoyed the outdoors.
Yes, and I think too that this is the first character, like love triangle character, that we get any kind of like what happened to them, where are they now, which I
Mhm.
love. Like, I mean, I would have liked to have heard about something from Debling in season 4. Like, we find out his
Yes.
ship went down because that whole thing would not be successful. And they could even bring in a new Debling because old Debling passed away because the Great Auk was, you're never going to get there. We could have an entirely new Debling. So I did like that. And I did like that Edwina and Kate are sisterly and similar in the men they end up going for because they find a man that challenges them
Yes.
to kind of rise above or out of themselves and to break out of their shell a little bit. Because I do think the Sharma sisters they kind of had this shell around them, because it was just the two of them and their mother for so long that they needed a man who was going to break them out of that. So I do love that we hear that Edwina probably had her own enemies to lovers story because here, she's with, finding Steve Irwin or whoever, some outdoorsy type, and she just is not, and finds out like she falls in love with him, and all of a sudden she's wanting to wrestle
You
gators.
can definitely pick Patty's age because she's picking the guy who was in his 40s as opposed to Robert Irwin, who is her age, and looking for a American just like his dad.
Well, I mean, I grew up with Steve Irwin, so yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
his
because
child is always gonna be a child. I don't care if he's
yes.
doing underwear ads.
Yes. Well, especially like me being Australian, like they have grown up like how they say like that all American family, like that is the all Australian family to us. They are our national treasures. And we've got Bindi Irwin, who also married an American man. So he's like, I'm just out here looking for my American.
Yeah.
Th- the only thing is they kind of set up in in season 2 that the queen was potentially looking at setting her up with the prince and Prince Friedrich. I would have absolutely loved that match, and I feel like the only reason why they changed that storyline was to make this whole India storyline with Canthony possible. And it's like, do you really need to keep bending things to make your bullshit excuses for Anthony leaving the country, which we don't believe anyway? We understand it's because of scheduling conflicts. Like, we understand that this isn't actually his personality, nor would he ever put his unborn baby at risk
And the
by
Bridgertons
being
are
on a boat.
supposed to be like the Kardashians. Why did they need to go to India at all? I mean, I understand the culture and the history and the whatever, but they totally just sneezed on the I don't wanna say etiquette for that, but the common logic of the time. Children did not survive very often. There was a lot of child deaths. They would have never, ever, 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 ever
We
jeopardized the
we're
air's
in
safety.
we're in 2026, Patty, and we've just gone through another huge scare. Well, I mean, not really, but with the hantavirus outbreak on the cruise ship where people are like, is this going to become a
Mhm.
new thing? Obviously, it's not transmittable the way that that COVID is and everything, but it was, sorry, it was still a concern, for a few weeks there of what is this virus? How can it spread? How transmittable is it if this many people on the boat are catching it? And this is, 200 years past the time period that we're talking of, where there was
Mhm.
not filtered water.
They
Traveling on
had
boats was an incredibly
listeria,
dangerous thing.
diphtheria,
My granddad nearly
dysentery.
died coming over from Cyprus. Like, it was a multi-month travel and it was dangerous.
Mhm.
And if you're pregnant, like, you are more susceptible than ever. And can I just say, without using explicit language, fudge to the fudge sugar lollipops, no would I be hopping on a boat for that many months whilst pregnant. Like, you got to pee all the time. You already get vertigo. Like, all those symptoms, absolutely they're fudge not.
Yeah, morning sickness on top of seasickness, which we did. Kate traveled from India to England just fine, so we doubt she gets
No,
seasickness, but
we saw her getting sick, a bit of morning sickness or nausea while traveling between not Rodden Row, not Cliveden, I know
Aubrey Hall.
where's Aubrey Hall.
Well, not I thought they were gonna announce she was pregnant again when she stayed at Aubrey Hall for an extra week and she was recuperating
Yeah,
or whatever, but they didn't.
yes.
But yeah, Bridgerton has its own time and, travel just happens so quickly in their world. And yes, you can tell me all you want, it's fantasy, but for some of us, it's gotta make sense for the story to make sense in our brains.
You know what I
This
think it
whole
is? I
thing
think that he looks at those eyes and he is just so captivated that he's like, "Yes, dear. Anything you say, dear." Like, he is hypnotized because let me just say that Kate
yeah,
probably has the well, obviously not Kate. It's our lovely I know words, I know
Simone
people.
Ashley.
Um,
But yeah, Bridgerton
Simone
news,
Ashley.
Simone Ashley's gonna be on Only Murders in the Building,
Oh, I didn't know that. She has probably some of
season
the most
5.
captivating, beautiful eyes. Like, because whenever people talk about, these really captivating eyes in Hollywood, it's usually Zoe Deschanel, like those really intensely blue eyes. But I think that Simone Ashley has some of the most intensely beautiful eyes that I've ever seen.
Her eyes are very piercing. Like, when she looks at you, it feels like she's looking into your soul, and
Yeah.
she knows all of your secrets, and you didn't spill a one of them. She just has
Yes.
such a direct, piercing gaze. Like, I struggle with eye contact, and I don't think I could make eye contact with her even for, like, a half a second.
Ezra's also got those big eyes, but his has always got the cheeky little glint
But
in
yeah,
his.
like, I get why they had to do it. I understand India is important, her culture, the baby's culture. I understand all of that. I just felt that this was extraneous and I wanted more pollen at their wedding breakfast.
Yes.
They
And
could have
then can we
actually made this conversation fit into the part where he's seeing Lord Anderson make eyes at his mother. Like, they could have squeezed these together, you know, and not had
Yes,
it
yeah.
be 2 separate ones.
Yeah, I yeah, definitely get that. But we then have Kate kiss Anthony very boldly in public. I still wonder whether some people of the ton are unsure of Kate as a viscountess because she does things like this where it's just not acceptable in society.
Anthony kissed her at Lady Danbury's ball, but this was I took this as a
His was more as a cheeky,
Anthony's
subtle kiss. Hers was
yeah,
a wrap around the neck,
yeah.
like full
I took
blown.
that as,
Mwah!
like, nobody's noticing because there's so many people here. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, nobody's gonna notice what we're doing because there's too much to look at.
yeah.
I think they get away
Is
with
is
it.
is Lady Whistledown gonna write about our indiscretions?
Well, and what I say later, I think Kate knows, so I think Kate really does know Lady Whistledown's
Yeah.
not going to write about it.
Yes. Okay, so we kind of touched on Penelope and Portia's conversation. Um, I do I do really, really it is so hard because this scene we see so much emotional growth from Portia. And then season 4 just undoes all of it. So it's really, really hard because like in this scene, I was like, oh my God, she is finally getting to a healthy place in herself. She's got all of her daughters married off. She has succeeded in the ultimate way of a mother in the 1800s. All of her daughters are married and happy and thriving in life. They're all taken care of. Like the biggest burden is off her shoulders now. So I assumed we would come into season 4 with a little bit. When Jess Brownell said that Portia was still going to be Portia, like I didn't think that she meant season 1 Portia. I thought she meant season 3 growth Portia, not that we were just completely undoing everything we had done in season 3, you know? This conversation, though, is really gorgeous because not only does she kind of see her daughter in this moment, but she also says, yes, I do see that there is something going on between you and Colin, but I am respecting that you are now a wife and that you will solve your own problems. Whereas if this was Debling, she was trying to interfere, she was trying to micromanage, you go
I've
fix
got
it,
to
you get
help
him back,
her.
what did you do? Whereas this time, I think she's like, okay, this is real.
Yeah.
And
Well,
she's done this
and I
all
wanna
on her
say
own.
I
So
want to
I'm not
say
going to
that,
interfere.
yeah, we see Penelope looking off from by the fireplace. She's by the wall again, looking off at Colin. And Portia notices this and walks up to her. And this whole conversation ensues. We learn that Portia knows that they're not
Is a
everything's right
strain.
between them. And I think that the wedding breakfast is what it is. I mean, it's Portia's piece de la resistance of all of her entertaining. But I also think that the size of this party was her way of helping them through the day without scandal, without talk.
Yes.
Because remember, she does not know Penelope is Lady Whistledown at this point. So I think she created a huge party where they wouldn't be able to be
That's
together all that.
radical.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to be together all that often, and she figured if they're not together, they're not going to have visible signs of conflict, so no one's going to know they're in conflict with each other. And I think that really is the kindest gift, although she went a little overboard. They do wanna talk, they just can't get near each other. But I honestly think that's the kindest gift she's given to her daughter yet.
Well, what I kind of noticed as well was like in this event, she is channeling her inner Violet, right? And
Mhm.
this conversation that she has with Penelope seems like like the script was almost written for Violet and Penelope rather than Penelope and Portia because it was just so emotionally available that
Emotionally
it just
emotionally mature.
and I'm like, Portia, is that you?
She went to the school of Violet, mothering
Yes.
style.
Can I also just say that Portia's makeup in this scene, I actually think that she looks the most beautiful in the scene that I think we did see her in all of season 3. Or like I don't know what they've done with her makeup in this episode, but she is so happy. I don't know whether it's how happy she is, how genuinely happy, and not like she is plastering on a smile, but you can tell even though she's plastering it on, it is coming from a place of genuine happiness. So I don't know whether it's
Mhm.
like, you know, how that whole, and I don't like to feed into the patriarchy of like women look pretty when they smile, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, when you're happy and you're like
Ooh, Portia?
radiating joy.
Portia's makeup is awesome.
Yeah, it's really beautiful in the scene.
Well, think about it. She's creating a bar tab for Colin. She had a somebody other than Varley do her makeup. She paid someone to do her hair and makeup other than Varley.
Hmm.
This is like her day, right? This wedding breakfast is her.
Because whoever they have on wigs in season 4 really needs to learn to like just lessen the tension on the forehead a little bit because those eyebrows are like permanently surprised. Who, me?
I think that's Portia's
I,
way
I,
of all of her kids are married off now, so she's trying to look younger, so she's like, "Tighten her up, Varley."
it's just maybe we can have other feelings other than surprise. She's preparing for her own 70th birthday event. 60th. Wait, was it? It was Violet's 70th, 60th birthday? The masquerade ball, 60 or 65th, or it was a big number.
50th. In the books, it was her 50th birthday.
I thought it was more. No, Lady Danbury was 70 or in her 70s
In her
somewhere.
70s in the book. She's not in her 70s in the show.
No, I
But
no.
Polly Walker just turned 60. Her birthday was in the last couple of months, and I remember she turned like 60 or 61, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, she is an absolute beauty, but I just thought that I don't know whether it was because that they're like trying to show because like the makeup and costuming and hair departments are really really good at like tying in with what's happening in the scene, and I think just with how happy she was, they changed up her makeup style to kind of reflect that a little bit. It wasn't as harsh
Yeah.
as the makeup can be sometimes.
Well, and I just think, like, because this wedding was when her makeup was spot on, that it gave me the vibe that she paid someone else to do it.
Yes, like when she gives Penelope that like "Oh, I've been too busy to meddle," you know, she gives Penelope
Yeah.
the most mischievous smile and it just lights up like when she says like that and gives Penelope the smile, like just look at her face, like that mischievous smile. I think that she was a born joker. Like if she was born in
Mhm.
today, she'd be like the class clown, the class meddler, like that would be her role.
Yeah, I love that, and then she all of the emotional awareness, like, her emotional awareness meter gets tuckered out, And she goes back to being Portia going, "Well, the important thing is you're married now," and walks off. Like, "You're on your
Yeah.
own."
You're on your own, kid. You always have been. I just I love this moment, like the very gentle, like stroking down the face. Like this is the
Mhm.
most maternal I think we've ever seen Portia be in her entire life.
Yeah.
We are finally getting to our bread and butter of this episode. I love that it's Penelope who builds up the courage to because I think this is Penelope's arc, right? And I love that it is Penelope who gets the courage to go and approach Colin specifically rather than it's always been Colin approaching Penelope or like Penelope putting herself in a position for Colin to approach her like at the races. Oh, I did not see you there. Like she's always
I mean,
placed
Colin
herself
always
near him for him to notice her.
well, actually, sort of true, but not true. I just saw the best edit this week. It's been all over the fan groups. So when you have a chance, look for it. It says he was looking first. Like every time you see Penn look his way, he's already looking at her.
Yes.
Like some season 1s and definitely season 3s. So he's always looking. But Penelope is the kind of person that when she's in conflict with someone, she lets them work their stuff out on their own and lets them come to her. That's why she got so excited when Eloise showed up at her house and she thought everything was good and they would be friends again.
I got a
And
bunch of
Eloise,
birds
her and
playing on my driveway.
Eloise, huh?
Got a bunch of birds playing on my driveway, but I can hear them landing on my trailer roof.
But
I was like, what is that
when
noise?
Benedict is talking to Eloise, she locks eyes with Penn, and Penn looks hopeful. Like, are we good here? Are you going to come and talk to me? But Eloise can't do it. And I think by this time, like Penn has been waiting for the people in conflict with her to come talk to her to get over their stuff. That and she's finally tired of it because they're married now, right? They have to make this work. So she's like, "Nuh-uh, I'm going to him. I'm gonna make him talk to me." Because she's so tired of these Bridgertons holding on to their grudges and not being able to be the
Yes.
one to repair.
Do you notice that as Penelope walks through the room to Colin, it's like, I don't know whether they planned this with the lighting or what, but like as she moves through, you get to see how the dress color like shines through every different kind of light. And you get to see the coloring that peachy, it's not a
Mhm.
peach, I don't even know
It's a
how to describe
pale
the color
pink.
of her dress.
It's like a champagne pink.
It's a
Like, they
champagne
were
pink.
trying to go
It's
for rose
stunning.
gold. Yeah,
Yes, yeah, like a
and
true
her train
English
is
rose
straight up
beauty.
yellow, but there's times where it looks white in the light, and it really threw me off when I first saw it. Like, is it white? Is it yellow? Because if it's yellow, it's so Pen, because it's
Yeah,
yellow and pink, and
yeah.
you just couldn't tell, and it wasn't until I saw the behind the scenes that I learned that it was yellow, and it's like, yes, they got it. Like, that is Pen. When Pen is feeling herself, she's wearing pink and yellow, not just yellow. So, but yes, her walking across and walking to him wasn't just her star of the show. It was her silhouette and that dress and her hair cascading down her back.
Absolute
Like, that's
perfection.
such a good shot.
It was. I was like, "That sounds weird, that backside view." It's not what I mean, people. Just that back view of everything just was beautiful. And then we talk about this all the time, but scenes from other movies to kind of bring in that nostalgia, right? Because Penelope asks Colin, "Could we get away from here?" I don't know if you know that exact line from a movie. That is an exact line from The Notebook when Ali and Noah are in the retirement home and she has a moment of clarity in her dementia. And she goes, "Let's get away from here." Where? We could go anywhere. Like she's like, I need to be with you, just the two of us, because if it's just the two of us, we can hold on to each other for longer before the dementia rips me away again. And I feel like it was kind of like a play on this moment of like, we're surrounded by all these people
Mhm.
and I need it to just be the two of us. And that is why they tied it in, because he's like, we can't get away, but we can dance. And he puts on I'll Be Seeing You. And if they played I'll Be Seeing You, I would have been a sobbing mess. I mean, you could never change the song. Like, this song is perfection.
Well, they couldn't have been
But
that obvious. That would have just been like,
I wish that they had done the rehearsals to I'll Be Seeing You.
If we'd have got a behind the scenes of that, that would have been
See
amazing.
you in all those familiar places. That is one of my favorite scenes of all time. And then she forgets him again. And I do
You
one of
lose
my
it, yeah.
ugly little full body sobs every time that that happens. Like just how heartbroken he is. So I love that they tied in such a impactfully like our love can overcome anything. Even when
Mhm.
dementia tries to rip you from me, our love can overcome it and our love will get us through. And that's what I felt like they were saying in this moment was this was one of the great
We can
loves
get over
in
anything.
life. And I'm
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. I love the
And what
notebook,
I love
okay?
about
It's
this, let's rewind to the carriage, right? And he gets out of the carriage and he puts his hand out like, "Are you coming with me?" And she's like, "But Colin, your family will see me." And we all know what she's thinking. She's not thinking proposal, she's not thinking
yeah.
engagement. She's thinking friends with benefits, right? She's thinking, "I'm about to be this man's mistress." She's like, "He's trying to get me to his room." So when Colin says, "Where do you propose we go?" That little glint in his eye, he's like, "I'm about to defile my wife in her childhood bedroom." Like, he's the one not getting it. Like, he wants it to be sexy time now. Like, "I wanna continue this." And she's like, "Let's go to the center." And he's like,
It kind of reminded me in
"I
the books
I get to be body to
because
body, close enough."
yeah, they do that at Eloise's wedding, do they not?
What?
Dip out to go enjoy them each other.
Yeah, like, they are snuck off in a room
Yeah, and
canoodling
because
and
because
like,
she's
"Let's leave
because she's
early."
like, "Colin, that's not what I was thinking," and he's like, "Isn't that what we're always thinking?" Like, that's why
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of a tie back to that scene from the book, but I do love that Penelope nearly as you're talking about the carriage, Penelope, like, basically quotes back his own love confession, like, "I have tried for so long to be less, to feel less." And this is the moment where, she's like, "It's not just you, Colin. It's not just you that has tried to be something in society who she's not, and I can't do it anymore, and I just want to be Penelope, my husband, Bridgerton."
Well, she finally wants to be seen. Like,
Yes.
that's what I wrote in my notes, like, he wants privacy. He's done with all the people, and she's done with all the people too.
Yes.
But she finally wants to be seen. She is who she wanted to be in this moment. She is
So funny.
Whistledown. She is Mrs. Colin Bridgerton. Her dreams have come true in this moment, and she wants everyone to see.
My exact wording is Penelope is done clinging to the walls and feeling invisible to the ton. It's not even that she wants to be seen. She just wants to be seen by Colin and like the best way to make her anxieties, fears and feelings of an inadequacy disappear is when she is dancing with Colin. So it's not that she wants to be seen per se. She just wants to be Penelope Bridgerton. She's
Yeah,
done
she
being
wants to be
Penelope
she's
Featherington.
finally the person she wants to be.
Yes.
So, she wants to live that timeline. She wants to live that person's life and not Penelope Featherington's anymore. She's
Yes,
ready
because
to not be Penelope
as she
Featherington
said,
anymore.
Lady Whistledown was created because she loved what everyone else had, or not love what they had, but like she was intrigued by what they had and interested in it because she didn't have those things herself. She didn't get to experience them, so she experienced them through um like secondhand embarrassment though. Like she lived vicariously through Lady Whistledown, through the people of the Ton, and she's like, I don't need to live vicariously anymore. I have Colin Bridgerton. Like I have my husband, my mate, my soulmate. I don't need to live vicariously through anyone anymore. So I want to live myself.
Yeah, Lady Danbury's quote from season 2 now fits her. "I have lived, I have loved, now I can do whatever I please."
Yes. Yes. Just hopefully not the I've lost part.
Uh,
But when
and I
Penelope
love,
suggests
like
going to the center, like you can almost see the panic on his face, like, please God, no, do not make me like do not
yeah,
make
he's
me
like, "I
talk to
don't think I
another
could."
single person.
And the thing is this helps you understand, like, of the brothers, Colin is the most introverted. He's like he really is like the Francesca of the brothers, only he's not as introverted as Francesca is. He can social for a while, he just taps out, and he and Penelope are very similar in that. Their social meter does not last very long at all. But when she mentions dancing, I love that. I mean, the guy that comes up with dancing in a church being cheeky and mischievous is surprised,
Yes.
like, but it is the wedding breakfast. The sun is still out. Like, the sun isn't just still out. The sun's only been out for a few hours now, bro.
Like, it's
Like,
one
what is
thing
it?
breaking the rules
11 AM?
when no one's it's one thing breaking the rules when no one's watching, it's another like, he's like, "But everyone's gonna know we're breaking the rules. We can't do
Right.
that." Okay, so people talk about all the
He's
time
surprised she came
how
up with it is what I think. Like, I took that as he's so
yes,
surprised she came up with it.
it was one of those, what a Barb Penelope Featherington kind of moments where he is just surprised by her, and I think
Mhm.
he's also coming to terms with the whole Lady Whistledown thing and the fact that she can still surprise him. He doesn't know everything about her. He knew everything about her as a friend, and now he is getting to know his wife. And he's like, I thought I knew everything there was to know about her, and I still have so much to learn. And I mean, I've been married for 13 years and I still learn new things. Steven said a story the other day, and I was like, I didn't know that one.
Yep. I love that. I mean, I've known Smaug for 30 years and still learn new things.
Yeah. But people talk about this all the time in the Harry Potter books, where a lot of the main lines from the Harry Potter books got taken from got taken from Ron and were given to Hermione to make her this like all being, all knowing, perfect, like Hermione always saves the day, even though sometimes it was Ron. And so a lot of Ron's really iconic lines got given to Hermione. And I feel like this is almost the same sort of thing where we get that complete role reversal where this is something that we would expect to come from Colin, but instead it's coming from Penelope. And I do feel like that was sort of a foreshadowing for season 4 that every impactful moment was going to be given to Penelope instead of Colin.
Yes, but this moment in the entire show is one of the ones that truly felt like the book for me because Penelope was seriously introverted. And I mean, when she talked about the moments that she wanted to stand up for herself, she said her body was shaking. She felt sick to her stomach. Like, you're inside of her head and you're seeing just how visceral this feeling is for her to actually have to speak up for herself, but she does it. And the reason she can do it in a lot of instances is because Colin is present and he is there supporting her, like the time he was holding her hand and when she was confronting Cressida. So this moment for me kind of had that feeling of the book where Colin is like, I'm bringing her out of her shell. Much like,
Mhm.
you know, Kate and Anthony helping each other grow and be better versions of themselves. This was a moment for me where we could see how Colin was going to help Penelope be a better version of herself, and he contributed to that, not just her coming into her power and she's Whistledown and she always had this, which I think is the storyline that they were trying to go with.
Mm.
But we all know, like, a lot of her coming out of her shell in her book was because Colin supported her and saw her as a smart, clever, brave, all those things. So she's basically, Colin doesn't lie, and if he sees those things in me, that must be true. And this
Yes.
moment felt, it was nothing like the book, but it felt the most like the book to me.
It, it Yeah, it felt the most authentic to the couple. Yes. I absolutely loved that as they moved to the center of the room, and I gasped, I cheered, I was so elated when I heard You Belong With Me start to play, because You Belong With Me is the epitome of the unpopular girl at school not winning, because it's not about that, but it's just like I may not be the it girl, but please see me because I see you.
Yeah.
It's
And I know you're
you're on the
excited to talk about that, but I want to talk about after she says, "Let's dance," and he's surprised. He gives her a look up and down that should not be taking place in public, sir.
I know.
And then he says, "Very well." But I love the moment that he puts his hand out and she lays her hand in his and he slowly closes his fingers over her hand. That's
Mhm.
so much like the study when he cuts his hand
Yes.
and she's taking care of it, and because she lingers, he then closes his fingers over hers, like, I remember watching that like, oh my gosh, did he hold her hand? Oh my gosh," and then you listen to the audio with it, you're like, "He did! It was him!" And, like, here you just see, like, this is how it is, you know? He he puts his hand out, if she puts her hand in his, he is going to be there, going to protect her. And then I just want to say, like, none of these people saw them coming. One dude tapped another girl's shoulder, but when they started walking, it was like Moses parted the Red Sea.
Yeah,
Most people were not even looking at them, they just moved aside. It's like, oh, music is coming on. Like, it was like magic. It was unreal
absolutely.
because nobody saw them, but it really was like magic as the music's starting and they go to walk to the dance floor that is barely there because there's so many people, but people just part for them, and it was like a Cinderella moment.
Absolutely. And I
So, okay, now you can go on with your
even though
song. I just had to because
yeah, even though Love Story is also, like, another really, really, like, fitting kind of song, I feel like this song is specifically from Penelope's point of view because they went through the whole Marina situation, the friends to lovers, and it's really hard because she felt invisible not just to Colin for so long, but the Ton. And so, like, this song is almost from Penelope's perspective, not just to Colin, but to the Ton, because she is Lady Whistledown and she's the one that sees the Ton like no one else. You're on the phone with your girlfriend. She's upset. She's going off about something you said because she doesn't get your humor like I do. I'm in a room. It's a typical Tuesday night. I'm listening to the kind of music she doesn't like, and she'll never know your story like I do. Like, I feel like this song is not just
the
like a
"She
love
doesn't get your humor
song,
like I do" is very much like
a bushel of
gallop
tomatoes.
right along.
Yeah.
Yeah, I oiled my way right in, and Maria was like, "What are you doing?" Like, Pen
Yes.
gets his humor.
Absolutely. Marina doesn't even like tomatoes. Shut up,
And
Pen.
why did we not get a single dad joke in season 4? Jess Brownell,
I
do
know.
your job. We need a dad joke.
Even
One per
even if it was
season at this
even if it
point.
was out of error, chopped liver, we will accept anything, okay, at this point.
No, not chopped liver from Anthony. It needs to come from Colin.
No,
Like
no, no, no.
during
I'm
Rose's
saying
Tease
I'm saying
party,
even if it were out of the even if it weren't in the right era, like, just give
in the
us some
right
dad
time.
jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we need a dad joke. One per season. That is now a contractual requirement from the Ladies Bridgerton.
Yeah. So our pre-chorus is because she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts, she's cheer captain, and I'm on the bleachers. This is season 1 Penelope dancing with Colin. This is her being on the wall while Marina is swarmed. This is her sitting off to the side with Eloise while Colin and a host of other suitors flock to the shiny new thing where shiny and new aren't always best. Dreaming about the day where you wake up and find that what you've been looking for has been here the whole time. If you could see that I'm the one who understands you, been here all along, so why can't you see you belong with me? I'm not even going to pretend to try sing this because it's done in such a high note that neither of us can touch this one.
I sing this song in the
I sing it, just no one wants to
Why
hear me
can't
sing it.
you see
See
along
you
with me? You belong with me.
walking the streets with you in your worn out jeans. Can't I'm like worn out jeans or pirate coat. I can't help but thinking this is how it ought to be, laughing on a
Well, after
park
that
bench,
Brothers
thinking to
interview, we
myself,
do know worn out jean shorts.
yeah, hey, isn't this easy? You've got a smile that can light up the whole town. I haven't seen it in a while since you brought Hugh down. Season 1, Violet saying, like, I've never seen you so melancholy as when you're with Marina. Like, this is meant to be the happiest time of your life, and yet I've never seen you more
You're
upset.
serious.
And
Yeah.
yet, like, when he's with Penelope, short of, I mean, granted, short of the whole Lady Whistledown coming out situation, like, we've never seen Colin happier. You say you're fine, but I know you better than that. Hey, what are you doing with a girl like that? That is the conversation after the wedding. Like, I want a sense of purpose. Like, Penelope has always seen Colin for exactly who he is and has always encouraged every part of him. This song, like, just to me is every part of their love story. And I
Yeah.
am just
It
so
very
in
much
love
screams
with it all.
It screams Penn for Colin, but I also see it from Colin's point of view too, because I mean, even think about like Debling was perfect on paper for her, right? But he's like, he's not the right one for you. And I can see that in this song. Like, why are you with her? She's not the right one for you. I'm right here. And Colin's wanting to say those same things. He just hasn't gotten the courage to do so yet until the carriage, right? So
Yes.
I can see a lot of, I think this song was perfect for this moment because it fits both of their journeys. We've seen her
Yes.
journey now through 3 seasons. Those of us who noticed have noticed his journey through 3 seasons as well. But most of his journey, people noticed in season 3. But it's the same. They both had to watch each other almost be with somebody that was just not right for them.
And then the whole, oh, I remember you driving to my house in the middle of the night. I'm the one who makes you laugh when you know you're about to cry. I know your favorite songs and you tell me about your dreams. Think I know where you belong. Think I know it's with me. Like, I feel like their ability to encourage one another is at the core of their love. Like, to see each other and encourage the best in each other is really the core of them.
Yeah. And I love, like, if you think about it, at the full moon ball, when he's watching her and he's the one who doesn't feel good, right? He doesn't feel good watching Penn talk to other men. But when he comes up and chats with her after Basilio, him making her laugh makes him feel better.
Yes.
Like, so this song, I mean, this song is absolutely perfect for the two of them.
Yes.
So when they come up and start dancing, first off, I want to give the reactions of everyone. Obviously, strangers begin talking. Dankworth looks surprised, but Finch looks
But
proud.
I was gonna say, I said you can see that no one in the room is aghast by the complete lack of decorum. Like, people are
They're a
surprised, but kind of
Twitter.
pleasantly.
Yeah, they're a Twitter about it. Like, ooh, this could be scandalous, but they're smiling, like in a good way, like how
Yes.
sweet for them, kind of thing. Yeah,
Yes.
Philippa and Prudence exchange glances. Like, who is this girl that is supposed to be Penelope? Like, this surprises them coming from Penelope.
Yeah.
And then I have the thing about the sea parting for them. But what I love here is as they prepare to dance, the camera, which has been seeing the whole room and how crowded the room is, and it sucks in on them again, just like at the wedding, where it's just on their faces as they prepare to dance, because it gives us that feeling that it's just them. They see no one, they hear no one. When they are in sync with each other, when they are in tune with each other, like this is the most attuned couple in Bridgerton, in my opinion. They are so attuned to each other. They can have conversations from across the room, but when they are close to each other, their gravitational pull from each other to each other is so strong that the world just dissolves around them and just disappears. So I love that it's so up close and, you see them hand to hand, then hand to waist, eyes never leaving each other's. They know this dance, right? Like, this is something they're meant to do. And where everyone else, as they start entering the dance floor, kind of looks to their hands and gets themselves together, they never take their eyes off of each
They
other.
are just completely intuitive with each other.
Yes, everything else, and I love the symbolism of this because the conflict that's going on with them, this is like their conversation with each other because they communicate and dance so much as a couple that this is them saying everything else is trivial. This is what's important. We are important. Nothing is more important than what we have right now. And then at this point, the dancing starts, the most scandalous thing. Like people know what they're doing now, but now even less people care, right? People are having their own conversations. Like no one is treating this like a scandal at all.
I think that actually instead of being scandalized by it, I feel like everyone is inspired by their love. And look at the what's the word? I know words. Do I know words? I don't know words.
You need to sleep for words to produce.
I don't know what that is. Like how inspired Lord Kilmartin is by their act of grandeur, like doing something that is completely outside of the rules of the ton. And he's like,
Mhm.
actually, the ton isn't responding bad. Maybe we do need to be more bold in declaring ourselves. Maybe we do need to get off the wall. Do I think it's his natural state to be in the middle of the room dancing? No, but I think he's like, he can see how moved Francesca is by his brother's love right now. Like, she is looking over in absolute awe of the way that their love
Because this is
inspires them
a
to be bold.
gesture. And that's the
This
thing,
is a gesture.
John has already said he knows the power of a gesture. And this isn't
Yes.
him speaking out. This is they're making a statement through dancing together that will be a gesture to everyone of how serious they are about each
Yes.
other. Something else that's very small that I love because we have been wanting to see Portia and Prudence kind of have, that moment again where Prudence gets Portia attention.
Yes.
When the camera pans back out and the dancing is started and the couples are starting to also enter the floor, if you look off to the left where the Featheringtons are at, Portia almost literally picks up Danky. She like has his moves him aside to go stand by Prudence to watch. I love that. I don't know if it's because of where she needs to be standing at the end of the dance, like if it was just a, ooh, I'm not at my mark. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it was
Mm.
like like as an actor, she was in the wrong place. But I love the message it gives, as small as it is, if you're noticing, that she's loving what's going on for Penelope so much that she wants to be near her daughters so that they can all experience it together.
Yes.
And she can have a moment with her daughters, even though they're not dancing, they're watching Pen and, kind of like when Debling showed up and they were all judging her from outside of the drawing room door, now they're going to all like just love this for her. You know what I mean? Like this is the right person.
Y- Yes. And going back to John and Francesca on that note is coincidentally the one thing that he does here is the one thing that I feel like Violet needed to see from him because she's like, my daughter's always going to be on the wall. Or not even
Mhm.
attending the party at that because he's going to allow her to be an introvert and never push herself out of her bounds. But John can see that Francesca is like moved on such an emotional level watching her brother and one of her best friends like find this love and break the rules of society because of it, which foreshadowing for season 5, that it inspires their own love. And John intuitively, just as we're talking about the intuition between Penelope and Colin, John is actually incredibly intuitive when it comes to Francesca, and he intuitively
Yes.
can see that she wants to be there, even if she is afraid to go out. And he's like, you know what? We need to be more bold within ourselves and do the things we want to do. Not like how your own self doubt holds you back from so many great things that could be because you're like, oh well, the what if this, what if that, what if the timing, or what if the money, or and we hold ourselves back from these amazing experiences. And I feel like that's very much what Violet is being afraid of with her daughter, that her daughter will never push herself to have these experiences because she is so introverted. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't happen. Like, I mean, if you want to be introverted and you're not a social person and everything, absolutely okay. But you can see that she wanted to dance, but just didn't know how to pluck the courage to go and be in that
Thing is I don't
spotlight.
think so much that she did want to dance, like, she was already thinking, "Oh, I would love to dance right now." I don't think that's the case because she did say, "You're not much of a dancer." Like, it never crossed her mind because he would never do it. But the fact that he brought it up and he was serious and she realized this is our moment. Like, this was her way of telling John, like, "I'm on your team. I'll let you lead. Whatever you wanna do, I'll ride along." You know what I mean? Like, I see, you say this is a good idea. It's not my cup of tea because she's not much for being in the center, but she's going to push herself and do it for him, which is all Violet has been asking for. Like good a good relationship isn't two people being exactly who they are and staying that way. It's two people being exactly who they are and growing together.
Yes,
And this is growth for the both of them, really.
it
He does
was.
something bold in the moment without thinking about it. Because remember, he said when the boys gave him advice, he said, "Ooh, I'm going to have to think about that." He didn't have time to think here. This was an opportunity, and he seized it immediately.
And you can
And
see the
he,
the impact that it has though, because Violet immediately notices it, and you can tell that the conversation that she
she's
has with Lord
proud.
Anderson,
Yeah.
she's like, "You know what? I think they're actually gonna be okay. Like, I think my worries were for naught, and it's all gonna work out."
Yeah. And now we got to rewind because the best part of this whole sequence occurs before John and Francesca. So when they start dancing, and they're close and they're preparing to dance, we see the crowd. Then we pan out to see the first few steps of this dance so that we can see everybody not really caring so much. And then they zoom in together on them again. And then when they pan out again, just like Pride and Prejudice 2005, which is exactly
Wondering
what
when you
I
were gonna bring that up. Yeah.
squealed when this happened, it was just the two of them in the room. This huge room that had been full a minute ago is completely empty, and it's just the two of them dancing, their bodies talking to each other in perfect sync, their eyes never leaving each other. Like, this is our moment where we know they're in it to win it. That nothing, literally nothing else matters. And I love that Tom Verica did this because this was not in the production notes. This was not in the scripting. This was him seeing how they were in a rehearsal, and he decided to get it on camera, and he asked for it to be edited in. This is where I'm fangirling over Tom
I ever
Verica
so wonder
because,
why the Nicola storyline came about, because they look at each other the way that they do, and we wanna be inspired by that love, and we struggle to separate it.
well, and pr in my imagination, again, there's nothing that I've read anywhere that states this. This is completely my imagination because I do believe that the world tour that we got and the way they acted with each other was a complete PR stunt for us to think, will they, won't they? And that fed into the frenzy of season 3. I think it was planned, and I think it was planned from this moment, from filming this dance and Tom Verica going, we have a gold mine. Their chemistry is off the charts. We need to utilize that in marketing, right? And again, I'm going to say it again. That's my complete imagination coming up with this based on how he spoke about how this got entered into the editing and it became part of the editing room for this scene and what they did to us. And I do mean what they did to us with that press tour because that
It
was
changed my brain chemistry.
that was fraud. Okay, that was fraud.
Who who
But
who
we
needs
loved
who
it.
needs SSRIs or, drugs when you've
Right?
got Nicola to just, make us delusional?
I mean, and honest to goodness, like the lead up, the year before, almost exactly the year before season 3 came out is when I got divorced. And the lead up to season 3, or sorry, season 3, lead up to season 3 and the whole like 2 drops and the press tour and everything is how I healed from my divorce. Like this is literally what I want. Like their chemistry was, and it wasn't just like that palpable chemistry. It was a
The
friendship.
love
Like you
stories
could
that
see the,
stand the test of time.
yeah. So I loved, I think Tom Verica understands that there is a fan base. We've all read the books. So we love the books and we want to see things from the books in the show. But we are also Regency fans. The whole reason I watched Bridgerton when it first came out was because it was Regency, but it was supposed to be like Regency turned on its head. And I'm like, that's interesting. I want to watch that. I consume everything Regency I can find pretty much. Like there's some stuff coming out now that I'm like, I got to find, I don't have every platform in the world, so I don't get to them right away. But I do try and get to them when I can. And like I already decided in comments from our what to watch during the Bridgerton
Mhm.
drought, like, there's things as I was editing, I remembered other things. I'm like, "We're gonna need to do a part 2." There's so many things, and so I think Tom Verica understood that, and he gave us that homage to that scene from Pride and Prejudice, and even though they're not a friends enemies to lovers like Lizzie and Mr. Darcy, I think the fact that they are so similar, like Lizzie and Darcy are very similar, they just don't like what they see of themselves in the other person, which is what makes it enemies to lovers. I think that correlated over, and it was just beautiful, and it was
They felt
seriously
to me more like the Bingley, like, and Jane Elizabeth? Jane. I always mix them up.
it's
I don't know
Jane.
why.
I
My
think
brain's
Francesca and John feel
binky.
more like Bingley and Jane to me.
No, because
They're
Bingley
very
and Jane
similar,
are like Bingley is just like that super easygoing, like love, like happy go
and but
lucky kind.
Jane is so
He's
introverted. And Bingley loves a party, but not like he does it because he has to. He wanted to find a wife, right? And
yeah.
he never made it seem like he just loved a party. He
Well,
was looking for a wife.
speaking of, because I'd like to crawl back into bed very shortly. Speaking of trying to find a wife, this is when Lord Anderson approaches Violet and essentially asks, "Hey, I've got my affairs in order. Like, you ready to throw down, girl? Is the tea ready for me?"
And for anybody who has not watched Hyacinth through that exchange, go back and watch Hyacinth because this is her first taste of society, really,
Yes.
because this is the
Aside
first
from the
party she's allowed.
Cantony kind of party in season 2. But that was just Bridgerton, so it didn't count.
Yeah, they got called down to dance because nobody else showed up. This is her first society function, and she's seeing the tea spill right in front of her, and she's having the time.
Her mother's tea of all.
She looks at them and looks over at Will like, "Are you seeing this?" Like, it's awesome. I love it so much. She is just
I
in her element.
Well, I love the kids' reactions because this is very much the scene from The Masquerade in the book where she dances
Mhm.
with a man for the first time, and it's the first time that she's not interested, but just enjoying
Enjoying
company
herself,
that
yeah.
wasn't enjoying company since Edmund. The first time she'd even, I think, danced with a man since Edmund. And Anthony was outraged in the book. And I love that they kept the same scene. Like, what was the word that he uses? I wrote down, "Oi, mate, that's my mum," but that's not the exact wording.
It's something like that.
He not exceeds himself. What does he say? He do do do
What
checking
Anthony says?
checking.
He
Yeah.
oversteps?
He oversteps, yes. Because
Because
I
Kate
think
thinks
that she
he's
thought for
talking
a
about
moment
Colin.
she thought he was talking about Lord Kilmartin taking Francesca on the dance floor
Mm.
because they were unmarried and not even officially engaged yet. And he's taking her on the dance floor where only married couples are, from what I can tell.
Well, the way Kate said they move beautifully together, I thought he was talking about Colin because this is a wedding breakfast and the sun is still out and he started it all because
Yeah.
all Anthony would have seen is Colin lead
He
Pen
will
to the
always
dance
blame Colin.
floor.
Yeah. I mean,
He would blame
it could be
Colin.
either way.
Well, he wasn't privy to the conversation, so he only sees
Yeah.
Colin lead her to the dance floor and start dancing. So I thought he was mad at Colin because of their relationship. But
Yeah.
that makes sense too. But that also shows either way, like that could go either way. And it fits the storyline either way. So that's the beauty of art.
But I love that
You make
Kate
it
like
one way
immediate
and people perceive
I
it
love that
however
Kate
they want.
I love that Kate immediately grounds him down and is like, our family is happy and together. Do not take that for granted." Like,
She boops
I
his
think
nose. That's not grounding him. That is mothering. That
I
is
don't
the
know.
best.
I feel like she's exactly who he needs her to be.
Yes. I felt
But
like when you're training a puppy for certain things, you're supposed to boop them on the nose, like if you don't want them to
yes,
do it. And that's like, no, this is not good behavior. Like boop, let's calm down now.
behave yourself, little man. Like, get in line. I just thought it was really an endearing kind of like that, like, let your mum be happy. Back off, mate.
Yeah. And it's like back off, you know, focus on the good for once, right? Because Anthony
Yeah.
is so
Well, it's all about to go
focused.
to shit, so, like, enjoy the one last second of peace and happiness you'll ever
Like, you never know
experience.
when it's gonna go to shit. It's gonna go to shit in about 3 minutes, but you never know. Like,
Yeah.
let's enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah.
Speaking of, I think that concludes this episode. This is our longest one we've done for a while.
I
Actually,
know you're
something to go
not
to bed.
even. I will, but you'll be like, why did I try why was I trying to skip this?" So, as the first I wanna say real quick, all of the dancers match. The 2 ladies that are not Francesca look like they could have been bridesmaids. They're wearing almost the same color blue. Francesca's wearing blue. All of the men on the dance floor are wearing that dark navy type of overcoat. It looks like a wedding party.
Mhm.
It's amazing that those couples were the ones that decided to get on the dance floor. But as the dance is winding down, you see that the move Colin is supposed to do is dip his lady.
Mhm.
Everyone else dips their lady to end the dance. Colin and Penn end face to face, eyes still locked on each other, and he runs his finger down her cheek.
So, because they did originally do a dip, and then I think it was actually Luke who chose who went impromptu and did that, and they were like, "Actually, that is
Perfect.
perfection. Like, let's
Yeah.
keep that in."
And I think it works too because Portia had just done the same thing in her motherly conversation with Penn. So, and we know that Colin watches Penn. So I took that as like, you know, this is not like you're mine now, but I'm your support now. Like
Yeah.
we're grown-ups now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this was a moment of like it's truly just us. It's
You belong
always
with
been
me.
us. Like what ended up on the candle. And I think this was the moment, like, honestly, if there hadn't have been 525,600 people in this party, like, Colin and Penn would have forgotten themselves, honestly. But it ended so beautiful. Like, this whole scene, the whole dance was beautifully done. I wished it was not broken up by all the side stories. I understand that they need progression too, but we got so little of Happy Pollen in this season that I was, you know, I would get frustrated. You're, like, so into their dance and so into the romance of it, and then bam, you're taken out of it. So, but it was just beautifully done. The dance, the Pride and Prejudice, all of that was amazing.
For
Good
today's
job,
gentle
Tom Verica.
listeners, we will leave it there and continue on next week's episode. I really don't want to. F you, Queen. Makes me so mad at her. If you have any tangents you would like to share, please find the Ladies Bridgerton on Facebook and YouTube. Enjoying the podcast, please click like, subscribe, and follow wherever you listen.
And once again, thank you for listening to the musings of 2 and the fangirling of 2 mad women.
Yours truly, Tash the ever in love with Taylor Swift Kiwi.
And Lady Patty.